let's go ahead and jump into the quick hits. If you don't know, the quick hits are short. What's up?
Before we jump into it, I do have one update.
Oh, we have an update? We
Yes.
got an update. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do that first, and then we'll jump into the quick hits.
Yeah.
So what's our update around?
Last week we talked about Steam Play and releasing a beta to allow Windows games on Linux-based OSs, and
That's right.
mainly their Steam boxes. Well, it looks like that is out there. They have a customized emulator. They have a list of about 30 games that currently works. There's some good ones. Doom and Doom 2, Doom VFR, Final Fantasy 6. There's Google Earth VR. There's Magic the Gathering. There's Nier Automata, Payday the Heist, Stalker, Tekken 7, Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's quite a few others on there, but basically, it's a modified version of Wind, which is basically a Windows emulator built for Linux, and it supports Steamworks games, it supports OpenVR games, and apparently it runs better if you're using DirectX 11 or 12.
Okay.
So there's a few games out there. There's about 30. The list will be in the show notes. Link to the list will be in the show notes, I should say. And they said there's going to be more. So those of you out there with Steam machines or that are just running Linux kernels, and you want to play some games, you have another option now.
Yep. And with all this going on, we have to bring attention to the number one game on the list here, Doki Doki Literature Club. If you if you have a Linux-based machine and you have not had the pleasure of playing such an excellent game, I highly recommend it. Doki Doki Literature Club is definitely my game of the year for the year that it came out. I believe it was 2016.
I think so.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the quick hits. And now, for those of you that don't know, the quick hits section is where we take short stories that don't necessarily deserve a deep dive, but there are events that went down this week and stories that we do want to talk to you guys about. And before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to our live audience. Maury Jin is in the house over on Twitch. We also have our homies and homegirls listening and watching over on Facebook. So shout out to everybody that's watching the live show. And remember, if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, you can do so via the live chat. Just ask us a question, and you can put the hashtag #AskAWGNS. That way we know it's something that you want us to address, and we'll address it live on the show. If you're watching this after the fact, you can do so on Twitter with the same hashtag, and we'll get to it in the next episode. Because we like interacting with you guys. We like trying to include you guys, especially the ones that are watching us live. And if you're watching us on Twitch, you have the pleasure of using some of our custom emotes. So go ahead and if you follow us on Twitch, you can use some of our custom emotes. They're really cute. I'll post them here in the chat so you can see them in a second. But those are just some of the perks that come with watching the live show. And something that you guys can take advantage of. You can spam it if you want. So let's go ahead and get into the quick hits. First up, we have Assassin's Creed in the news. With the new game coming out this year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was shown off at E3, a lot of people were wondering if Assassin's Creed was going to, fall back into the same old with it being a yearly release. Well, news has just come out that Assassin's Creed will take a break in the year 2019.
That's right.
So after Assassin's Creed Odyssey comes out, we will not get a sequel or another game until 2020. At least 2020. And I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this, solely because of getting fatigued. There is a such thing as getting fatigued when it comes to a particular franchise. I think that the break that Assassin's Creed took after Assassin's Creed Syndicate was well needed.
I think that helped them out a lot. It makes sense.
Because when I went back into the series and played Origins, man, I loved that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could not put it down.
Yeah, it's a good. They have two teams work on it. That's why we got the back-to-back releases. It seems like they're doing like a 3-year development cycle. Because if you look at The team that did Origins, that did Origins, they had the year off. They're going to get another year to do some more development, and then the game will come out. And the same thing the team with Odyssey. So it looks like they're on a maybe 2 or 3 year cycle, and they just release the games back to back. That just happens to be how the schedule works.
Yeah,
but
and I'm cool with that, man.
Yeah.
And you know, it just the way that these open world, like especially the Ubisoft games, they all kind of play kind of similarly, you know, especially with like Far Cry. You know, it's not too much like, you know, new stuff going on outside of the story,
of the story and the location, right? The setting.
Right. So getting a break from that kind of gameplay is definitely a good thing, because you know it allows you to kind of like wind down. And then once it returns, you know, you're excited, you're hype, you know, because I'm ready for Odyssey. It looks like it's going to be a good game, and if it's anything like Origins, I know that I'm going to enjoy it. Odyssey releases in October.
Yep, I've got mine pre-ordered, and I personally like that Greek time period.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I cannot wait to Sparta kick some fools into some wells. I feel like that's gonna be a really good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be dope. I can't wait for that. But yeah, other than them taking a break, you know, I mean, I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, I have no problems with it, and it's not like they don't have other things, because they have the Division still coming up.
Oh yeah,
and it's another game too. There's a second. I can't think of it, but they have 2 big AAAs that they have slated for next year. So it's not like they're not busy. They have stuff coming out. So yeah.
Definitely busy over there at Ubisoft, and then they're still working on Steep. They're still working on For Honor.
Yep, Rainbow Six Siege. Evergreen game, and then the other game, Ghost Recon. They still pushing stuff for that too. So they're
really busy over there.
Yeah, and they did say, although there won't be a game coming out next year, there will be content for Assassin's Creed Odyssey to keep the audience sated.
Yeah. I didn't get into much of the DLC in Origins, so I think leading up to Odyssey. I might play some of the Origins DLC just to, you know, get myself like refamiliarized with the control. Because man, jumping back into Assassins after not playing it for a while, like I was a little rusty. I was getting wrecked, especially because they reworked the combat system a bit.
Yeah, and I felt not Odyssey, but Origins, that the assassin wasn't as nimble. He felt a little more bulky and more lumbering than the Assassin's controls were in previous versions.
Yeah, I felt like he felt a little bit more grounded, because there wasn't a whole lot of like high octane like combat and climbing. You know, he was a lot more grounded, because you're in the desert. You know,
there's no skyscrapers.
Yeah, not a lot to climb on in the desert.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the assassin in that game, and that had been one of my problems since Assassin's Creed 3, was that, you know, the assassins were like hit or miss, you know.
Yeah, Connor was horrible.
I did like Edward.
Yes. Kenway.
Yeah, he was dope.
The sisters, twins.
The twins, they were okay.
Yeah, and the one before that, it was Syndicate. What's the Assassin's Creed?
Rogue. I haven't played Rogue yet.
No, not Rogue. That was the 360.
That was the one. Oh, you talking about Unity?
Unity.
I didn't like him that much.
Yeah, I didn't play enough to really get to know. Because
same here.
I played. I got stuck because the game was broken, and I never went back.
Yeah, so we've talked about that a bunch. So yeah, can't wait for the new game, and I'm glad that they're going to be taking a break to give Ubisoft an opportunity to release some other stuff. So yeah, that's going to be dope. Let's go ahead and move on. The next story we have on our quick hits revolves around Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night, which is a Kickstarted game by the original developer behind the Castlevania series.
Yep.
The game is slated to come out. Oh man, when is Bloodstained coming out?
They don't have a date.
I believe that they do. February 2019.
Oh, yep, there it is. Yeah.
Okay, so the game is slated to come out in February of 2019. They did release a prologue NES style game as a Kickstarter bonus or whatever, for reaching the one of the thresholds,
Right.
which was really cool. Got to get some classic Castlevania madness in there. But the story coming out this week is that the Vita port for Bloodstain has been canceled, and there's no surprise here. The Vita is a dead handheld.
Right, and the developer his name is Igarashi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Koji Igarashi.
Yeah, Igarashi. That's the dude.
He basically came out and said that there doesn't seem to be Sony doesn't seem to be supporting the Vita anymore. With the fact that they're not going to be making game cards for them anymore. They're pulling them off of the PlayStation Plus system starting next year. He said the support's not there, so he's not going to make the game. And when you're kickstarting the game, you're a small studio, it's just you. You're going to want to rein in your finance, your expenditure.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to spend money and time developing on something that's not going to give you a return on that investment.
Right. And then when the Kickstarter started off, this was a few years ago when the Kickstarter began, and so the Vita was at least still being developed on at that time. But nowadays you don't hear anything about the Vita except for how dead it is. So there's no real surprise here in my opinion. I do feel for the ones that may have ordered their copy for the Vita. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to switch the version of the game that they're going to get. I'm pretty sure that they'll be allowed to. I actually didn't back this game, but I do plan on purchasing it once it comes out. Once it comes out for everything.
I wonder if they'll replace the Vita port with the Switch version. Or did they already have a Switch version? Because I didn't see any mention of a Switch.
I didn't see anything about a Switch version, honestly. I think it was just PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Vita.
Vita, yeah. Oh, it was originally supposed to come out for the Wii U, but there's no Wii U.
Well, yeah. So they canceled. They've already canceled the Wii U port.
No. The Wii U release has been swapped out for a Nintendo Switch version, so there is a Switch version.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever console they want, they'll be able to switch it to. Mm-hmm. It would suck. It was like, oh well, if you ordered the Vita version, now you have to get the PS4 version. Like I feel like that would be a little consumer hostile. Yeah,
that'd be heavy-handed. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'll give them the opportunity to pick which one they want.
Because me personally, I can imagine a bunch of Vita owners. People that were going to get on the Vita getting it for the Switch.
Yeah, for the handheld.
I see games like this, and I've said it before. As much as disdain I have for the Switch, games like this work out well for the Switch because
a Metroidvania,
it's a nice pick up and go. Yeah.
Oh god, a Metroidvania style game. It's perfect for like long car trips, stuff like that. Sitting on the bus. Yeah. This definitely works for the Switch, and the Switch needs games like this. It needs games, period. But games like this definitely have a place on the Switch, and people are ready for this game. Yeah. I'm ready. I haven't backed it, but I'm ready for when it releases. So too bad for the Vita players out there. I know all 6 of you are very upset.
5 now.
5 of you. But I'm sure that they'll allow you guys to pick a different version, which is not bad. Let's go ahead and move on. And this story is a little interesting because it looks like Amazon is taking one of their flagship programs and turning it into a video game. The show in question is called The Grand Tour, and it's a show about racing cars, I guess.
No. So I watched 2 episodes.
Okay, yeah, you. Yeah, this is all you.
But basically, what they do is they'll get cars and they'll make some kind of crazy what do you want?
So is it like a bunch of challenges or something like that?
Yeah, they make some crazy challenges. Like for instance, they got some cars and they had to drive it a certain distance with no oil in it. And they pick which cars they want and they and see which car lasts. They do silly stuff like that. It's basically what was the show? It was a show on, I think it was like on History or Discovery Channel, was Top Gear. Okay. It's basically those guys, they got kicked off and they took it to Amazon. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to watch the show. The guys are super annoying. I can't stand them. They're just annoying. I like the premise.
Uh-huh.
The stuff that they're doing is just that those 3 characters are just annoying to me. So I can't bother watching it.
Can't get down with it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Amazon, they brought a couple of developers not too long ago. So
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. So this is the game that this is the first game that's coming out of Amazon Studios that I can recall. They may have something else. I don't remember seeing anything else come out of Amazon Studios. But yeah, it's a racing game. It has 4-player split screen co-op. They're going to be releasing episodes, like levels or episodes to the game on a weekly basis, almost like they release a TV show. I didn't see any cost on it. I mean, it would be nice if it was just like a free game with Twitch Prime.
Or yes, an Amazon game, yeah.
Right. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I have a passing interest in this. I would never pay money for it, but if I can get my hands on it, maybe a demo or a free version of it, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little bit more on the arcade side of things, and that's really more my taste when it comes to racers. So yeah, I mean, if it dropped in my lap somehow, some way, I could see myself playing it. It doesn't seem too far out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is seemingly the first game out of the Amazon Game Studio. So we'll have to see, how it does, and we'll see what else they're working on, because they have a few studios. I would be.
It's 2. They have 1, 2, 3. They have Seattle, San Diego, and Orange County.
Yeah. So yeah, and within those 3 studios, they have a bunch of different developing teams. I'd be surprised if this was the only one that that all of those teams are working on. So we'll have to see what else comes out of their magic hat. Because this is pretty cool, but we've also seen
it's just Double Helix.
It's Double Helix.
Yeah,
is that the only team they have? I thought they had. I thought they had who developed Killer Instinct before the Iron Galaxy, something like that.
Yeah, Iron Galaxy. Yeah.
So they have those
Iron
guys
Galaxy. Do they? Yeah, maybe. But right now I'm looking at the wiki. All the list for them right now is Double Helix.
I think they have Iron Galaxy as well.
It's possible.
Something like that.
Because Double Helix is in, I think it's San Diego. So they have people in the other 2, Orange County, and what was the other one I said? Like up in Washington, Seattle, I think.
Yeah. My only thing is that we've actually seen video games based off of TV shows. We've seen that before, and we've seen how it didn't really work. So here's to hoping that they don't have the same fallout is that other series. You remember that? You know what I'm talking about, right? It was on the Sci-Fi Channel. They made a game out of it.
What is that show? The show actually wasn't bad. The game was horrible. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't remember what it's called.
Show. They were stuck in like a walled city to keep the aliens from attacking them.
Something like that.
I forgot the name of this show, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's hope they don't fall into that same bucket. Okay, and this is our last quick hit. We're gonna go ahead and cover this one pretty quickly. Just like last week, because we talked about HTC and VR last week, we're gonna round off our quick hits with a story about the wireless adapter, because it's been dated and priced. So let's go ahead and jump into this.
Yeah, so HTC's Vive is like every other VR system. You got to plug in a USB, usually one to 3. It depends on which one you have. I think Oculus is like 2, the HTC is 3, the PS4 Pro is 2. Some of the Microsoft ones are just 1 and the HDMI cord. So you got all these cords hanging off. If you've seen videos, you see people with cords. Well, Vive, HTC has come up with a wireless adapter. You basically plug it into the back of the headset where all the, basically interface with all those cords will be. And then there's a piece or a unit that you plug into your PC to receive the signal, and you have wireless VR, which is the dream, because you want wireless VR. The cables do get in your way. I've tripped on the cable once or twice. but
tripping on cables and punching your walls. That's VR for you.
That's VR. That's right. So yeah, it's wireless and it's cool, but the problem I have with it, so HTC Vive is the most expensive of any of the VR systems out there. Save the Magic Leap. Magic Leap is surpassed everybody, but that's new. But the HTC Vive is the most expensive out of all of them. This wireless adapter is going to cost $299 in addition to, I think it's $499 if you get the normal HTC Vive. It's $799 for the HTC Vive Pro headset, and that's just for the headset itself. If you don't have the other stuff for the HTC Vive, you have to buy all of that separate.
Oh my god!
Totals $1,200 if you buy HTC Pro. If you start your VR set with HTC Vive Pro, it's going to cost you $1,200. This adds another $300 to that, and if you have the Vive Pro, you have to buy a $60 adapter to make it work with it. So it's really expensive. It's a great idea, but I mean, you're looking at setting up almost $2,000. I mean, you can buy a rig for that much.
Yeah, $2,000, and then you got to buy games.
Yeah, and you got to buy games. Yeah, so. I have VR. I like it. I just think to me, the VR is a gimmick on the same lines as Kinect and motion controls were. Developers are just not they're just not creative with it. They're just kind of shoehorning stuff in. Yes, it's cool. It's nice. It's where everybody wants to go. Oculus working on a new headset with wireless built into it as well. I'm sure we'll see that coming out soon, but Vive is first to the market, and people that already have the Vive, I mean, the $300 wireless headset, the wireless adapter, in my opinion, is definitely a step. I just wish it was like $150 cheaper.
Yeah, and that's the main thing with VR, especially for me, is like, man, just getting into it is gonna cost you a pretty penny.
I mean, Oculus is the cheapest, $399. That's you get into Oculus for $3. But you must, either you're gonna have to build a new PC or your PC must be compatible. Right. But if you have a compatible PC already, which a compatible PC for Oculus, you can get it for about $800. So you're looking at $800 for your PC and then another $400. So that's $1,200 price of entry. That's why the PSVR is so popular, because
it's the
PlayStation
cheapest.
For $299 and the headset for $299. So you got $600 for entry. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the technology is advancing at a surprisingly fast pace, in my opinion. I mean,
the hardware.
The hardware, but they still just don't have that killer app, in my opinion. I mean, they have like these outlier games that come around every so often, but I don't know, man. I think if anybody has like a collection of VR games, it's probably mostly just a whole bunch of just like jump scare games. Yeah. Or some games that you could also play on console or without VR. I don't know.
They're either jump scare games or first person whatever. First person shooter, punching, first person boxing. Yeah. I mean, some of them. I mean, I played the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby one, and it's cool as a demo to play it for. But it's not a game you're going to get and keep playing over and over again. It's not fun
exactly.
Like that. And I talked about this last week with VR, the game Moss, which it's on all of the VR systems. It's on PSVR. You can get it on Steam. It's cool, but it's not anything that's groundbreaking. You can play the game and enjoy it just as much without a VR headset. And the same thing with Super Hot.
And that's what I'm saying about some of the actual killer apps or some of the more high selling games like Resident Evil and Super Hot. Those games you can play without VR and you can have just as awesome of an experience. So what's the point is what I'm saying. But that was our quick hits. Let us know what you guys think about this story or any of the stories that we talked about in this segment. Note that if you do want to submit stories to us, you can do so via our social media or the information down below. You can see it at the bottom of the screen, but we'll also have it in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So, any story that you want our opinion on, and they don't necessarily have to be more recent stories. If you want our opinion on a gaming news story, we'll give that to you. It doesn't matter if it's an old or older story or not. So just let us know. Hit us up. Let us know what you guys are thinking. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we would love to know what you guys think.